Good evening. I'm Byron Scott with the CTV News Update. A fire races through a Laurel apartment building, displacing several families. It happened here late last night on the 13,000 block of Larchdale Road. 28 units were affected, displacing 22 adults and 2 children.
When our crews arrived on scene, they found a 3-story garden-style apartment building with fire showing from the roof. Our units evacuated the building and started their initial attack on the fire. The fire, due to the size of the building and some extension to an adjoining building, a second alarm was raised. The fire was extinguished with no transports and no injuries.
The Office of Emergency Management is assisting those families. And an explosion in downtown Baltimore leaves several people critically injured. It happened this morning at 2 Center Plaza, the office of Baltimore Gas and Electric. A few workers had to be rescued from dangling scaffolding. The explosion was reportedly related to construction work. Well, as Prince George's acquires its first doses of the Moderna vaccine, county leaders are rolling up their sleeves for vaccinations. CTV's Katira Jones has our story.
To encourage public acceptance of the COVID vaccine, County Executive Angela Alsop-Brooks and Health Officer Dr. Ernest Carter got their first shots yesterday. They received the Moderna shot at the SHIRLEY Health Center. Here in Prince George's, frontline workers are the first individuals to get the vaccine. Prince George's now has more than 51,000 positive cases.
I want people to feel comfortable that if I would do it, I wouldn't ask anybody to do something that I wouldn't do. And so, this is so important. It's not just for us, but for our families and for our neighbors and community. So I want other people to see that I feel confident enough to take it myself.
This is not a vaccine like an attenuated live vaccine where they give you the virus. This is a vaccine that really generates a protein, just one little protein from the virus, and your whole body just reacts and becomes immune to it. And that's really important. That's why it's as safe as it is. And that's why I'm very comfortable with it.
Meantime, the Maryland Health Department reports an additional 2,400 new coronavirus cases within the last 24 hours. This brings the state's numbers to more than 257,000 confirmed cases. Reporting in the control room, Katira Jones, CTV News.
Meantime, Pfizer and BioNTech plan to introduce the U.S. with an additional 100 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine. Well, a coalition of elected and community leaders is calling on Governor Hogan to release additional funds for COVID relief. The group, called Maryland United for COVID Relief Now, wants the balance of funds from the CARES Act and the state's reserves to assist struggling families and small businesses with a one-time stimulus check from the state. The state currently has $1.5 billion in reserves. And the president is calling on Congress to revise the $900 billion COVID relief package passed this week. Trump is calling on Congress to increase stimulus checks from $600 to $2,000 per person. The president says he won't sign the bill unless changes are made. The measure provides direct payment to adults making up to $75,000 a year. It would also give an additional $300 a week to unemployed Americans.
People that are in that situation whose benefits are about to run out on December the 26th now have about 3 months of slack to hope that the economy comes back enough that they can be handled. Of course, one of the things that a lot of the politicians are hoping for is a second stimulus package after the new year. And a lot depends upon what happens with the Georgia senatorial runoffs.
The economic package would also extend the moratorium on evictions. Well, citing health reasons, State Senator Mike Miller has resigned from the Maryland General Assembly. Miller announced last year that he was fighting stage 4 prostate cancer. He served more than 45 years in the state Senate, including 33 years as president, before stepping down from the post last year. Miller says his resignation comes with, quote, tremendous sadness. Well, Maryland lawmakers are pre-filing bills for the upcoming legislative session. Nearly 800 measures have been pre-filed as of Monday evening. That's compared to fewer than 200 last session. Top priorities include funding for historically black colleges and universities and financing to support local government projects. Delegate Al Carr is introducing 4 open government bills dealing with transparency. One is specific to Montgomery County. The 3 others deal with state government.
Another one improves the state spending database website, which allows anyone to look up the spending of any state agency, but that website needs a few improvements. A third bill will improve the Maryland Public Information Act. We have a few loopholes in there that some of our state agencies have been taking advantage of to avoid sharing information that they don't want to the public to know. And then finally, the issue of mandatory referrals. This is when government agencies have to go to the planning board to get their projects reviewed. Again, there were some loopholes that agencies have been using to avoid public scrutiny, public review, and public hearings.
House bills must be drafted by January 19th and filed by February 5th. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Byron Scott. More news in just a minute.
I moved to Florida with literally pennies in my pocket and a prayer. I needed a new start. Dacian looks like a very typical 3-year-old until you ask him, "What's your name? How old are you?" My son has a lot of behaviors that would show as being autistic. Most kids can tolerate a variety of foods, but unfortunately for Dacian, everything has to be organic and raw. I wasn't ashamed to go to the food pantries. It's expensive to eat healthy, and nutrition is very important to Dacian's health. The healthy organic food that we receive dramatically helped his social skills. Most people would say, she really doesn't have much of a life. But to me, I have everything right there next to me and my son.
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, I want him, he's gotta come home with me. Not anything but lonely. Every day with Turtle is a perfect day and keeps me company when I'm doing schoolwork. I like it when he jumps up on the table too. He is a veggie thief. He's an incredible companion and my best friend. Can't say that I've met anybody that doesn't love him too. When I adopted Turtle, I discovered all the things that make him unique. He's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly he's all pure love.
A Waldorf man who was sentenced to life behind bars for a crime he committed when he was a teenager has been released. Alonzo Turner Bay was 17 years old when he murdered another young man in the county, but under a program created by the state's attorney's office, Bay's case was reviewed and he was paroled. The program in part reviews cases where a person who committed a crime as a juvenile was sentenced to life. Bay got out of prison in October.
I think that was the best day of my life, man. The best day of my life. I cried when they walked me down the compound because I knew that was gonna be my last walk on the compound and my long walk to freedom. I want to work with the youth. I want to work with the children. In order for our children not to repeat the cycle that we'll be going through, it takes men like myself who are coming out of these prisons to reach out to them, to talk to them. You know, scared straight don't work. Only way the children will listen to us if we show them that we've been where they are and show them a different path and let them know that they don't want to, you don't want to spend 31 years in prison.
We review all of these cases on their own merit. So it's not a blank check. We review their institutional history. We review the training and education that they receive while they've been incarcerated. We discuss what their home plan and arrangements will be once they leave prison. And so it is a very thoughtful exercise that we go through to ensure that these individuals not only have an opportunity for, for release, but also an opportunity to be successful once they're released.
Bay, who is staying with relatives in the area, is in the process of looking for work. He is one of 9 people released under the program. While a former Maryland Park police officer pleads guilty to child pornography charges, 54-year-old Anthony Malayo admitted his guilt in federal court this week. He faces up to 6 years in prison. He was arrested last fall after authorities received a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Well, the University of Maryland plans to name new dorms after people of color. The 2 new residence halls will be named after former students who helped diversify the campus. One dorm will pay tribute to Payan Su and Chen Jen Constant Chen. Payan became the first Korean student to receive a degree from an American institution. In 1915, Chen became the first Chinese student to enroll at the college. Another dorm will honor Hiram Whittle and Elaine Johnson Coates. Whittle was the first black man admitted to UMD in 1951, and in 1959, Coates became the first black woman to earn an undergraduate degree. Both halls are scheduled to open during next school year. Well, the town of Upper Marlboro is lending a helping hand this holiday season. It is collecting non-perishable food donations to support a food bank sponsored by local churches. Town officials say a lot of people are suffering right now.
By partnering with them and giving in the best way that I think we can, in the giving of food. Food is something somebody needs all the time. And it's an ongoing thing. And we work with them. Like I said, we have in the past and we will continue to do that.
The last day to donate food is on December 29th. For more information, visit UPPERMARLBOROMD.GOV. Well, grab your family and friends for the second annual It's a Kwanzaa celebration. The virtual event is on Saturday, the 26th, which is the first day of the 7-day holiday. An African dance and drum group, singers and spoken word artists are just some of the year's performers. Creative SUITLAND Arts Center and Substantial Art and Music are partnering to bring the festivities to your home.
In order to bring the community together, we thought, why not have an event to commemorate the space. And so, and especially since, Kwanzaa, part of the principles of bringing the community together.
We definitely just see a need for this type of activity, specifically in this part of the county, because we talk about it all the time. We don't really see any type of in-person activity as it relates to Kwanzaa.
For more information, visit creativesuitland.org. Well, 12 Days of Brave Justice Heroes continues as we head into the holidays. The state's attorney's office has been highlighting county residents who are making an impact in the community. One of those is Shirley Bell, whose son Brian Moses was murdered in 2005 in Laurel. At the time of the crime, there was no cash reward in the city of Laurel. For information, she says she started Crime Solvers because of that.
As a mother, it really took a toll on me, because I was fighting even harder to make sure that my son's case was solved. And without any money out there, that no snitch thing, nobody wants to say anything. They know what's going on, but it just seems like when money is available, more people will talk.
A 61-year-old man was convicted last October of killing Moses and was sentenced to 30 years behind bars. Now your weather forecast tonight, mostly cloudy with a slight chance of rain, low in the 40s. Thursday, rain, and still more rain. A flash flood watch is in effect for tomorrow. The high around 62 degrees. Christmas Day, a slight chance of rain or snow, highs around 37. And Saturday, sunny conditions with highs near 35 degrees. And that is your CTV News Update. I'm Byron Scott. Happy holidays.
For the latest information on COVID-19 in Maryland, visit the State Health Department website. That's health.maryland.gov. Again, health.maryland.gov. Click the link to the COVID-19 information portal. There you'll find all the latest information about coronavirus. You'll find daily updates on cases and fatalities. Answers to questions about testing and the governor's stay-at-home order are available as well. For specific information about Prince George's, visit PrinceGeorgesCountyMD.GOV. That's PrinceGeorgesCountyMD.GOV. The site offers information about local services for residents and businesses. There's a link for COVID-19 relief donations. Also, food pantry locations are listed. And if you have any questions, call the county COVID-19 hotline at 301-883-6627. That's 301-883-6627.